Hey everyone, my name is Josh. I'm a former Onshape developer and now I work at Reframe Systems where I write a lot of FeatureScript to help our factory make houses faster and cheaper. You can read all about us online at reframesystems.com. So in the past year, I have written a lot of FeatureScript and I'm always on the lookout for tools, or more often writing my own tools to make my job a little easier or a little faster. In the past year, I wrote this tool called Report, and it's become such a useful part of my workflow that I thought I would share it with the community. So this little video is to walk you through how it works, and maybe it'll be useful to you in your development. So if you're a FeatureScript developer, you end up writing a bunch of code, and while you're debugging it, you're probably creating a lot of print lines, and also you're using debug visualization to visualize points in space, or show what elements are selected, or tangent lines. And all of that stuff ends up showing up in the code. Yeah, there's my print lines, there's some add debug entities. So here's this little toy I'm writing called the Mobius follower. Um, and yeah, at some point I wanted to highlight that central path, and I wanted to show where the tangent lines were in this little ring of rotated points. And there's the start point of my curve, and all these blue points show the parameterization along the created curve. Great. But now I'm getting ready to ship the feature, so I need to turn all that stuff off because the user doesn't care about it and it kind of looks ugly. So what do I do? Oh, and they also don't want to see all this mess in the notice area. Well, I have to go in and I have to start to go through and find all my print lines and comment them out, and all my add debug entities, and it, I don't like doing this. I don't like doing this because sometimes I miss them, and then print lines show up in my code, and it sends messages to the console that are confusing, or at least it's at worst confusing, but mostly not helpful to the user. Um, but actually, the worst problem is that these are useful to me, or they were at one time, but I'm having to remove all this stuff that is useful in order to ship the feature. That kind of sucks. So this is what really the report feature that I've developed is designed to address. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just leave all that stuff in there? All the print lines, all the visualization, just leave it in. Don't worry about it. But you control its visual visibility through the action of another feature. And that's what report does. So let's get rid of all of our debug. Let's get rid of all of our debug code, and let's get rid of those. But you see everywhere I'm getting rid of a debug. Underneath there's the keyword viz, and that's got, or the function viz. There's a keyword associated with it. Remember these keywords: tangent, rotate point, pause point, and yeah, let's get rid of these guys. And then yep, pause points down here. I'm going to replace that with a debug. Okay, so I've done my work and I've turned off everything, and so now I'm ready to ship. And if I turn on the feature, you can't see anything. Now, let's say something happens. The feature breaks in the field, and generally they do. I have to turn all that stuff back on if I'm really going to understand the problem. But what if I didn't have to do that? What if I didn't have to touch the code? Maybe maybe there's another way. Well, first I'm going to interrogate the function to find out what keywords are active. Now, obviously, you can't see anything because this is happening after Mobius, but let's move it beforehand. And what do we see down here? Well, this list keys report call is showing all of the keywords that were encountered during Mobius's execution. And it gets really noisy, so I tend to leave it off, but you can see them. So let's just start turning stuff on, right? Nothing's visible, but let's start creating some. I wanted to read what that offset was. That was handy. And I'm going to turn on some more things. I want to see that. Oh, the first tangent. That was a good one. And yeah, let's turn all the tangents on. And the pause points. And what was the last one? Rotate point. Okay, So again, we don't see anything because they're all happening after the Mobius follower, but let's move them ahead. Okay, so right away, when the Mobius ran, because this offset was the report offset call, when it encountered that offset keyword, it knew to print. So look down here, look what happens when I suppress offset. It goes away again. And that's exactly the behavior you want. Okay, so let's go in and edit the Mobius follower. See, with these reports, all of those viz calls are now active. They've taken the place of the add debug entities. And I can see everything that I want. But you know, this is getting real noisy, real busy, and I just want to see that first tangent. So let me turn off all of the tangents just so we can see the first tangent. So I'm just going to go in and, you see what I did? I didn't leave the Mobius follower. I didn't have to. I was able to go in and suppress the feature in the feature tree, and it looks and feels like it's interactive. So I could just turn off that all of the tangents and just see the first tangent. And you know, I don't care about the first tangent either. I just want to, yep, those are looking good. I'm going to keep them off. Yep, the positive points, these are those blue ones that are along that represent the parameterization along the curve. Those also look good, and so I can turn those off. And now I'm just left with the rotate points, which I want to examine more closely. And yeah, so I can turn them on or turn them off. And that's really it. It's just to help you when you ship features, you want to turn all that stuff off, and you can, but don't remove it from the code. Just use viz and debug so that if you ever need to turn it back on or see those things, you can just add the report features back in the feature tree. But the feature that you end up shipping to the user is clean and tidy. None of that extraneous visual cruft and none of the noise in the FeatureScript notice area. So that's report. I hope it helps you, and let me know what you think in the comments.